How's it going, fellas? Fez here, and today we're going to be talking about the prelude of NBA 2K17. And in my opinion, it's not a bad game, fellas. It's not bad at all. There's some good, some bad, and some average things that we're going to be talking about here today, and just my thoughts and opinions on the game. Leave in the comments below your thoughts and opinions on the game, because overall I think it's a solid game, but I've only played it a couple of times, so it's only the honeymoon period, so we'll have to play it a bit more to find out the ins and outs of the game. But overall it's solid, I feel, and we're going to have a good year for 2K17 as long as the game's not filled with pay to win.
Let's do it.
These people are excited to meet the new kingdom here, buddy.
All right.
Now, these fans can be your best friend or your worst enemy, all right? Head coach would never tell you this, but when you get out there tonight, I want you to put on a show. Win this crowd over.
Let's do it. You know, my dad used to say, show them what you got. And I got something for me.
The first thing I want to talk about is just the story, and the story, in my opinion, was pretty boring. Not a lot happened. It was only the prelude or a demo, so hopefully they have a lot more scenes and story in the main game, but the story was boring, it was dull, nothing happened. Except the draft, and the Team USA was cool, even though I couldn't play it with the Boomers, but it was cool that I played against the Boomers. But there wasn't a lot to do. Like, it just was pre-scripted, and there was no choices to make. Wow, it was. Hopefully it's not another Spike Lee again, where it's just lead you hand down a path, because it didn't matter how good or bad you played, you always got the same outcome, other than maybe a different draft pick. You know, it got very boring in my opinion, and they have to add something for the main game. If they want this to be the massive RPG, there's got to be a story behind it to back the RPG up. You can't have an RPG without a good story. The next thing I want to talk about is the gameplay, and this is where the game shines in my opinion. The gameplay is solid. It's a little bit slower in my opinion than previous games, which isn't a bad thing, because the one thing that was overpowered in pretty much all 2K was the speed of a character. The speed has been slowed down a little bit, which is good for me, because you don't get so many players just running around defenders like they're not even there. The new shot meter, fellas, will take a little bit of getting used to if you've played in the other 2K games, but the one thing I need to get used to is the shot stick, because you've never really had to utilise the shot stick like you do in this game, because I use square for every 2K before this one, and I was using square and I just wasn't making shots as easy as what I was with the shot stick. So that's one thing that I've got to get used to. If you're a person that shoots with square, you're going to need to get used to the shot stick, because it just feels a lot better to use the stick than the button. And there's a hell of a lot more green releases, and all of them went in. I got probably about 6 or 7, maybe 8 green releases in a game. And I'm not the greatest of shooters. The only time I've been a good shooter is when I had this OP shot release in 2K16. So getting a lot of green releases, and they went in, thank you 2K. Hopefully that's not just a myth, and hopefully it is true that all green releases are 100% a basket. Alright, let's talk about the bad. The bad, there isn't a lot to do, but body steals are back. And what I mean by body steals is when you dribble near a player, the player will hit the ball automatically, and it's a steal or a loose ball. They're back 100%. It annoys me, because we have no control of what the player does other than the animation. See, real players have instinct to, oh, there's a player there, I won't dribble there. But we don't have that ability, so we need more control over the dribble animations, but we just don't have that in 2K17. So if you're not a fan of the body steals, expect them in 2K17, because they're back in full force. I don't know if it happens as much, because I haven't played the game as much, but they're back. Another thing that pisses me off in the gameplay is the contested threes. Please 2K, don't go overboard with the contested threes. It is only a beta, but I hate a lot of contested threes in the computer's face. I don't know if it can change in multiplayer. There's a lot of different things. It's not necessarily going to be in the game in multiplayer or who knows what difficulty we were playing on in the beta, so who knows. But the contested threes happened a lot, so hopefully not as bad as the other 2Ks. Like 2K16 wasn't too bad, so hopefully they keep that the same and maybe tone it down a little bit so we can stop threes, but who knows. The next thing is a new thing, but it was pre-made corner routes, and I was running to the corner and it felt like I was dragged into the corner into a specific route, like a specific location. It only happened when I was running into the corners, but it felt weird. I don't know if it was just me, but it definitely felt different. It didn't feel the same at all. It didn't feel like I could change angles quickly like I could in other 2Ks, only to the corners, but it just felt weird. I don't know if it was just me, as I said before, maybe you guys have experienced it, but who knows. That was one thing that I couldn't put my finger on with the gameplay, but other than that, the gameplay is solid. Like, there's a few bad things, but it really is a decent game, and as I said before, if this game isn't pay to win, we're going to have a good year for 2K. If they reward players for playing the game will be fine. Anyway guys, I've talked and raved long enough. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.